Hello there. Before this episode starts, I'd like to thank my friend Tom, who joined me for this pilot episode. It's very much trial and error. There are a lot of things that I really liked about this, and a lot of things that I will definitely look to change in the future when I'm doing the proper interviews, such as multi-camera setup, so you can get a close-up at the minis that are being painted instead of it all just being in one shot. But please let me know what you think works, what can be better, and also who you'd like to see interviewed. Thank you to everyone that's followed on Instagram and for also taking the time to reply to the messages that I've sent out. I really appreciate all your input and your feedback there, and also the emails that have been replied to too. So here we go. Thanks for tuning in. So the whole purpose and point of this pilot episode is just to see how I think the actual format of the show is going to go.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Thanks for coming on and being technically the first guest.
That's all right, mate.
The plan being to interview people within the hobby about their favorite miniatures, because a lot of people see these people on YouTube and all the likes and know them through the work, but what about them as people? But also for someone that's new to the hobby, regardless how old we are, well, myself personally, there's a lot of information out there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be really cool to try and just get bits of advice off people that are in it and doing it, and try and make it like one sort of consolidated hub of ideas.
If you want advice, why have you got me on then?
Well, because you were free. Loads of people say, I'm going, yes, we're here to hear all these people within the hobby talking about painting miniatures. And then there's a guy in a Padres cap and some ginger-bearded buffoon in a McLaren hat. To be fair, I'm only wearing the hat today because I missed my barber's appointment.
Oh, mate, same. But look at that hair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, people with hair that complain that they got hair.
Absolutely. Oh, no, mate, sorry.
In life. I'm another bald chap with a beard. Like the world needs more of us. So, this was sort of inspired by. I'm a real big fan of the show Hot Ones on YouTube. I think Sean Evans is one of the best interviewers out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like six or seven questions. It's half an hour show.
Yeah,
and I wanted to do that sort of format with the British Baseball podcast, the other podcast that I do, but I couldn't think of a way to do it without traveling around the country, wasting a weekend and just eating chicken wings with people.
That doesn't sound like a waste.
No, it would be great. But then as I sort of got into this, as I got into it, I've really just started. And I've been inspired by so many people. I thought it'd be really good to do like a paint on. So instead of eating chicken wings, if we all get like a mini that's been primed, ready to go, and then we can paint and talk, and you can see how the model's progressing and talk about tips as we're going. Mm-hmm. So instead of eating chicken wings and suffering for however long afterwards, you can sort of see a mini. I know it's not the best. This is November's mini of the month from Games Workshop.
Nice.
Which
we can just suffer by painting instead of
exactly
suffering with chicken wings. We can suffer with trying to draw eyes and things like that.
Indeed. And those are life's questions. And there may be a younger audience that seeks these out in the near future. I'm not saying this is aimed towards one little painting enthusiast in particular, but maybe something will happen there, and you might see this and think, oh, cool. My dad wasn't a complete dork, he was just a massive nerd. So the minis of the month that have been coming out, I only got mine last month. That was the first one that I got. I decided to paint them in like NFL team colors.
Oh, nice.
Just because it's different and it's practicing different colors and scales. And at the end of the day, it just looked pretty cool to have 32 miniatures in different colors. And when I heard it was going to be a Age of Sigmar one this month, I was expecting something like this to come out.
Big shiny man. What are they called?
These are Stormcast Eternals.
Stormcast.
Yeah, so I was like, yes, this is really cool. I don't know. This is another thing that I was hoping to do. So while we sort of have a person on talking about what they're painting, they could bring their favorite miniature or something from their favorite faction, and they can talk about the lore of that as well, because I'm not kidding. It is like pulling a thread.
Yeah.
Trying to get started off in this hobby when I'm in this stage in my life where I am overwhelmed by information so quickly and easily. I mean, you point out some great content for law podcasts, and I must listen to 2 of those, and then there's the YouTube ones, and all of a sudden I've got my own codex because I've got a notebook and I'm just writing all this stuff down. Like, and I sit on a Tuesday when I should be doing other productive things on my day off. So what have you done? So I've just written notes
on a bunch of Space Marine mutant dudes.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about tonight? Well, I can talk to you about is the Imperial Fist, because I just went down this rabbit hole of yellow Space Marines. And I've even went out and bought a yellow paint.
Do you find as well when you talk to your other half that you start talking and you can just see the glaze coming over their eyes?
Do you know what? I don't think as much, because Joss was with me when I got these, and I think secretly she might want to play and paint, because the library behind us and the Blu-ray collection it's like 50% hers as well. We've contributed everything to it. That Star Trek stuff is more hers than mine. Nice. I love Star Trek, but it's definitely Joss's stuff. So she has the inner nerd flowing through her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's going to wait until all this is. I think maybe a bit too chaotic for her. I don't know.
She wants to wait until you suss it out and then she'll come and play.
Probably, yeah. But it's usually the other way around, because I can't retain information. So I'm reading rules or something. Or we've got a board game night for tabletop gaming. Excuse me. And it's like we have watched a video of it, or Joss will sit there and I'm trying to remember everything, and I'm just like, oh, might as well just play and I'll pick it as I go. So one of the things that was really fun for me and my 6-year-old, and this is for anyone that's starting out in this hobby, is if you contact your local store, you can get a free miniature, and one of the management there will go through everything with you, like all the basics, to get you started, which was really cool. And I've completely lost my train of thought as to what this was going to be talking about.
I think I interrupted you by saying, does Josh get involved as well? But were you essentially going into the realm of getting started out and just a wave of information? And
yeah, so like my first foray into Games Workshop and Warhammer and that sort of stuff was when I was in primary school. Now, I'm not a spring chicken, I'm in my 40s. So this would have been like in the 80s and early 90s. And it was a friend of mine at school who was into it, and we've had this chat before. And I really got involved, and we started with like the fighting fantasy books. I've got the Warlock on.
Are they like the choose your own adventure ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I keep telling my eldest about this. She loves them.
Yeah, awesome.
In fact, the Story Museum in Oxford at the moment, they've changed one of their rooms to a choose your own adventure room. So you go in there and it's got boxes all over the wall, and you have to like open them up and the stuff inside. And you have to do it and then go across somewhere else.
Amazing.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's really good. And they've got a load of old choose your own adventure books in the gift shop now, which is cool.
That's incredible. You should get some of those. They're really good fun. And I used to have like the handbook, like the magic spells, and I can't remember the name of it now. Somebody out there will be able to tell me. And that was like my sort of Bible, like for when we're playing games. I'm like, right, well, I'm going to cast this spell and just ringing them off. And then the Space Crusade game in like 1992.
I had that one as well. Yeah.
And I was like, right, that's me. And then I was really into Blood Angels. I think they're in my faction.
Yeah.
Blood Angels. Without knowing anything about them. And now it's like there's how many factions and different realms and so much lore. There's lore for days that could fill these shelves like 8 times over. And I thought about investing in, that's what I was talking about, in like a few miniatures and then paint them and see where it goes. But then I was like, maybe I should invest in a faction and then just, this is where the whole idea is this one. So going from a guy that paints incredibly bad.
No, it's cool, mate.
Oh, no. Trust me, it's really badly done. To not saying like these people have been doing it for like 12, 15 years, but I want to go from like nerd who's trying to maybe be able to go to a competition. It was just like a local tournament with a set that I've built and created and learned about, take it into battle and see how far I get. And I just thought it'd be a nice little piece of try and document along the way with the help of the community to sort of not like guide it, but to inform and advise, and maybe people can use that information too. So we're in the Games Workshop in Bolton. We ended up buying, we got our free miniature to paint, and we ended up buying Munchkin versus Warhammer so that our 6-year-old could play it.
What is that? I don't know what it is.
It's the Munchkin games are quite cutesy, but it's like a little board game with cardboard pieces. So it's got like Necrons in it, but they're not scary looking Terminators. They're like these cartoony looking things.
Okay.
It looks great. I can't learn it for Toffee. It is really like I'm struggling with it. So then when we went to the Stockport branch to do our painting, we booked in because the manager in the Bolton one was like on holiday for 2 weeks. And the boy was really keen again, it done. He was brilliant. I ended up buying the £40 Space Marines versus Tyranids starter pack.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah. He was brilliant. And then he just sorted us out. Like loads of information, loads of advice. We did the painting, and I came back and I was like really upset that I'd missed a large portion of so much fun.
Yeah.
Just because I let some kids at school at the time make me think it was rubbish and not a fun thing to be a part of. And like I've said to you before, it's the opinions of other people affecting my love of something. And I was just really overwhelmed by it. And I got immersed in it and just locked in and just really enjoyed every minute of it. Joe, we should be painting while we talk. This is the whole point of
we should
this.
Do. The thing is, though, I find as well. I find as well that we've changed a bit. Sorry, yeah. Do you want to talk about what you're doing, and then I'll
I'm just gonna. Well, unfortunately for me, I'm still on dry palette, so please don't turn off now. I will build myself a wet palette. That brushstroke YouTube channel that you told me about is fantastic. I'll put a link to that in
good.
this.
So I've got my wet palette, which is just a Tupperware tub. And
I was gonna say your sandwiches look awful.
Kitchen roll, and leftover Death Guard paint from last night.
Nice.
And I'm painting a Poxwalker who just looks disgusting.
That's brilliant. Oh, there you go. That's what this is about.
But he was part of this first strike set, which I found on eBay for like £20. So I bought that. It's got 5 Space Marines in it. It's got 3 Death Guard Plague Marines. And then I think it's 5 or 7 Poxwalkers. I can never remember. But the kids are desperate to play it because it's like a small game.
Fantastic. Well, that's one of the really good things about the Games Workshop place as well, is that you can book in to play and learn how to play. And they have a battle. What's it called? It's like a booklet you can track your progress. So this is for youngsters starting out in it, and they can track all the stuff. And at the end of it, you get like free rewards and everything. And Elliot's desperate to get all of it because he made a new friend.
Oh, nice.
When he was in there, some kid, and he was like, "Yeah, you can read these books and you get this stamp," and it's really inclusive and really, I love.
I think that's it, isn't it? It's really inclusive, and I think the thing that I was going to talk about, I can't even decide what I'm going to do with these. It's basically got cargo pants, so I think I'm going to do them like a ready orange, orange. So I'm just going to have a guess at this.
This guy's going to be like
I was going to talk about. Say again, mate.
This one's going to be a bit festive. I think I might do him in a Christmas outfit.
Oh, nice. Good plan. Yeah, so what I was going to say about what you're talking about when it comes to not choosing to do it because of peer pressure, etc., and stuff like that. I think it's kind of, we've like social media gets a massive bashing, but we've ended up in a place where if you like something, there's people around you that are going to like it as well. You can find them. Like previously, all my mates were into football, and that was it. Like they played football, nothing else. So for them, it was a case of if you didn't like football, then you don't get on with them, so you don't talk to them. Sorry, my throat's going a little bit, so if I go a bit croaky. But the point was, yeah, if you didn't get into it, that was it. You just, you weren't part of the group, you weren't part of the gang, and you didn't have mates, so you had to stick with football, and that was it. And I think I wasn't as bad as you in terms of I had a friend that was into it, but I certainly looked at it and was like, oh, I fancy doing that. But the peer pressure was so much, I just didn't bother at all. But I think now with social media, if you go, oh, I quite like the idea of painting minis or whatever it may be, you can find somebody out there that does it. And then instead of surrounding yourself with your football mates, you surround yourself with people who are into painting minis. And you
Yeah.
can talk to them about it. And the great thing is you can just flip-flop and go to different interests, different things. I think it's great that we can do that now. Yeah, there's probably still the peer pressure there. Like, if I'm honest, am I going to start blabbing at work about me doing this? Probably not. But that's not a shame thing. That's more of, well, it's my interest. And I'll talk to people who are actually interested about it, rather I'm not there to go and convert people and get them into it. Whereas I think previously it was like, you needed to talk about it and needed to try and find people. And the only way you could find people was to make that first step and go, do you like Warhammer? And a lot of people probably like, no. But then there's that one chance that you get somebody who does.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, accessibility now for stuff
It's
is
so
immense.
good.
Yeah.
Like the YouTube videos as well. Like somebody was talking on, I think it was on the Warhammer Discord, and just saying like, they can't believe how quickly people progress on their painting. And I was like, well, how long have you been doing it? And I said, well, I've been painting for about 15, 16 years. And I'm like, well, 15, 16 years ago, there probably wasn't all these tutorials that you could get involved with.
No, exactly. And it was
Whereas
all
now
like
there's
what
like really
magazine.
quick progression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all magazines, wasn't it? And it was all
Yeah.
sitting there and painting with others. And again, it's that finding that first step, finding the people, finding the local game store,
Yeah.
trying to work out where you're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to be, because as with the boy, if he'd be too scared of the Space Marines, because we don't have guns in the house. And I'm talking like toy guns here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably people in the States, if anyone's watching that, I think that might be weird, but like toy guns, Elliot doesn't have any. And so I went out and got, so it was £40 for the Space Marines one, which was really good value because we got a ton of paints in it and some brushes and dice, everything you need to have a starter game. And the Stormcast Eternal one. I don't think I'd have prepared this. I've not opened it yet. It's £32.50.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Cruel Boys in it. You get some Stormcast Eternals in it. Some really good bits.
Who, sorry? Cool Boy.
Cruel Boys. So some Orcs.
Cool Boys. Okay.
Because Orcs was like the thing when I was a kid, I remember always passing.
Okay.
So you get 5 Vindicators, a Knight Arcanum. Cruel Boys, you get Killer Boss with Stab Grot and 10 Gut Rippers. An 80-page Warrior edition of the price tag still over it. 56-page core rule book, the gaming board, flat pack terrain feature, 10 6-sided dice, 2 range rulers and 2 reference sheets, 4 wall scroll cards, and 2 alliance ability cards for £32, but you don't get any paints in it.
Okay.
So, I did what any normal person would do. Yeah, this is how I spent 50 quid in one go. I only went in there to get 2 paintbrushes. 2 paintbrushes for myself. This little Citadel Colours Layer S and this Citadel Colours Base M. And then I spent another £22 on this one just to get the paints out because they didn't have a gold one.
But they're always good value. Like the paints at my local store are like £2.75 for the base ones. They're not like expensive. But yeah, those boxes are always good value. And if you get minis in it or a brush or cutters or whatever, you may as well do it.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to need cutters. You're always going to need a brush.
Indeed. And as far as starter sets go, for anything, it's just really, really, really good. So what are you painting there at the moment?
So I'm just painting his body at the minute. So I didn't really know what to do with it. Because it's like quite a light, fleshy tone.
Yeah.
I've done the you probably can't see it because of the light, but I've done the base, sorry, the priming layer is like quite a light lilac, like a pink.
Yeah.
And then I'm just putting some, I don't even know what it is. Ungor flesh on top of it. It's quite a yellowy colour. With the idea being that I'm going to add some Rathbone and try and lighten it up a little bit. I ended up getting this the other day, which is contrast medium, which you can mix in with your paints to just give it a little bit more water and whiten it up a little bit, just make it a bit more transparent. So it's quite handy in that sense. It's almost the opposite of like Nuln oil. I don't know if you've heard the sacred pot of Nuln oil and how important it is.
I am aware of Null Oil. I nearly bought some on Sunday actually.
No, for
As
shadowing,
a,
brilliant. Like for any like shadowing, like all my death guards that I've done, they're not covered in Nuln oil. They're covered in, let me just get the correct name, Agrax Earthshade, which is like
yeah,
oil, but it's like it's a bit more sort of gruesome and
yeah. That's
grimy.
what this one's covered in.
Yeah,
I really enjoy painting these, the Stormcast Eternals.
yeah.
Artis Opus YouTube channel did a fantastic one. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
So good. And it's just like dry brush made it look like stone. And then there's one that's
Yeah.
like really beautiful matte black color. I
Okay.
was like, oh man, I need to buy some more Stormcast just to get someone. But like I said, just starting out, I don't even know if I'm really going to enjoy painting them. I know I'm going to enjoy painting,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure to go out there and buy like another like £95 combat patrol kit to do a really bad job. You know,
I
and
think
then be
that's it.
like,
Like,
I don't enjoy this.
there's also a lot of pressure when you start out, isn't there? Because you see everyone else's, and you're like, oh, I want mine to look like that. But well, I started doing painting during lockdown,
Yeah,
just general painting, and all I was doing was constantly comparing myself to others. And our good friend Andy Brown, who's a
yes,
professional at this, was just like, "Mate, are you enjoying it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am enjoying the process, but I don't enjoy like comparing it to others." He's like, well, don't do it. Just enjoy the
yeah,
process. And I think
yeah,
that's kind of the same with this. But yeah, it's very easy because we're in a society where you put something on for likes and you wait for likes to appear.
mm.
But at the end of the day, like, did you enjoy it? Like last night, I sat and watched. I think it was a stream of somebody playing Skyrim, which is still one of the best games ever.
Oh, incredible. I
Just so
agree.
good. And it was just great watch just having that on in the background while I was painting.
Yeah,
So I wasn't really concentrating on the stream, but the stream was nice background noise,
yeah,
and sort of knowing what was going on there. But I enjoyed it. Like it was an hour and a half where I was just painting away and just having a nice time. And then at the end of it, I was like, oh, I'm quite happy with that product.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
I am with you on that. Excuse me. I
I
am
think,
with you. I find it really meditative. Like I just find
yeah,
myself
definitely.
just sitting there, getting lost in the moment of just painting and really enjoying it.
Yeah,
And I don't feel like I'm wasting time. If I was to play a video game for an hour and a half,
yeah,
this might lose me some of the younger audience. But I come away from it and I'm like, what have you done?
yeah.
Like Skyrim, what you said there, I remember putting over 100 hours into that game.
It's ridiculous. It's so
And
addictive.
yeah, I would just come home from work, just not in a very good place.
Yeah,
And I just walk and just take in the scenery because
yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing with your life? It
Like
crashed
not
when I got to
outside,
the no,
not outside on Skyrim.
yeah, it crashed on the final boss. And
No
instead
way.
of losing my mind and freaking out, I was like, Mint, I get to start this again with a different character. And just
Oh
went
my
straight back
God.
into it at 0. And I that is why I try not to do anything now because I've had my time on computers and wasted that
Yeah,
time when I
yeah,
could have been doing so. Like if me back then had found this, then again, different kettle of fish. But
yeah,
would I have stuck with it? Would I have enjoyed it? Am I destined to find all the things I like later on in life so I can enjoy it more? Probably not to a competitive level, like with
yeah,
British baseball.
yeah.
Like, would 20-year-old me have enjoyed that? Or was it meant to be for late 30s, early 40s me?
Yeah, that's a good unknown question. I like that. I
Yeah,
think like I don't know if I would have enjoyed baseball as a kid. I think because I was so focused on football. I
yeah,
used to like drive up to Blackburn from the Midlands like every Saturday and go what
yeah,
well, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays and go watch them. It's like I look back at that and I think that was mental. But I had a great time. I lived
yeah,
some good experiences and I'm very much a believer of no regrets in the sense of, you do things because you want to at the time. And if
yeah,
you've chosen to do it, you have to live with that decision. You can't just switch it around and go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that and just live on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
there's gonna be some things you're disappointed about, but I'm massively like zero regrets. Like you've made the decision That's it. It's done. Live with it. Like it could be a decision that's gone good for you. It could be a decision that's gone bad for you. But at the end of the day, you've done it. It's too late now.
Yeah, well said.
I think we're getting too philosophical there.
Yeah, sorry, folks. Well, I've got one thin coat done, and I'm still wondering whether to make this into a Santry type thing or whether or not to do it as a San Francisco 49ers and maybe add some gold to the pants.
Oh, I do like
Or
that.
even though I've just done red on the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fool. That was a mistake.
You can always paint over, mate. That's the great thing about these. So I've got a couple of coats now on the trousers and stuff. Can't really
We've
see
wasted
that
no
well.
time. That's looking really good. So what is it that drew you to the Death Guard?
You what, sorry, Red?
What was it that drew you to the Death Guard? Was it here's the Death Guard, right? Is it? Then ones you painted?
Yeah, so these are part of like, well, they're not with the Death Guard, but they end up just appearing with the Death Guard. I had to actually look them up. So they're a form of chaos-infected mutant undead undead, similar to plague zombies.
Mm.
Who've been cursed by one of the Chaos Gods, Nurgle. Nurgle's warp-derived maladies. I don't even know that word. I'm going to search that. Essentially, the Primarch of the Death Guard, Mortarion, decided to join Nurgle's little clan and essentially become part of the plague god and what he likes to do. I don't know enough about it. I'm just guessing it. But he essentially joined Nurgle and went and joined his side. Now all of his Marines are now all like infected with this plague, and they have like tentacles coming out of them and horns and stuff appearing from them. I don't know what actually drew me to them. I think I read it might have been the book Fulgrim, where they appear at the start, and it was all about like they'd just done a battle and Mortarion gathers. This is before he turned to Chaos. Mortarion gathers them all to like congratulate them on the battle, and he gets them to all drink this poison. And the poison is essentially there to keep testing their system. And they drink it. It makes them feel horrendous, but it's like the system fighting it and keeping going. And I thought it's just like such a weird and cool thing. And then when I saw them, and it's got like horns coming out of their head and tentacles growing out of their arm, I was like, yeah, that looks cool. But it does make me laugh. Like when you said about no guns in the house, I'm exactly the same. Like we're very much like, no, you're not having Nerf guns. You're not playing games with the shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then, as you just said, when you're reading out that box about the orcs, and it's like, what was it called? Gut slashers or something.
Yeah, gut rippers, and it's
all the other stuff we've got. Like,
yeah,
I've got like Space Marines. To be fair, the Space Marines obviously got guns. But then you've got these Death Guard that are up there, and they've got this giant like scythe on them and things like that. And you just think, am I being a bit too much?
Yeah,
am I going over the top?
Yeah, what's acceptable? You can't have a plastic gun, but here have this Space Marine. It's not a gun; it's a bolter.
Yeah, it's different. It's totally different.
100%.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I think Americans will laugh at us saying, "Yeah, we don't like guns, but here's a load of knives and chainsaws."
It's fantasy. It's not real.
Well, that's it, isn't it? So you just say, "Yeah, it's not real," and they're killing mutants and zombies, so they're not real. They're not people. Zombies aren't people.
Exactly.
It's a rathbone. I need this to be more sort of fleshy. It's not very fleshy at the minute.
I just put some base Mournfang brown because I didn't have the right paints to get the full Sigmar set. So I'm missing all the Orc stuff.
Okay.
I asked the manager in the Stockport branch, and it's just like, shall I just buy the missing paints off the back? Because you can buy like the Orc version of this. Because this one does come with the paints.
Okay.
22 quid just to go buy a pot of gold. Man. But I really enjoy painting them. Really enjoy painting those.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, the brown that you get with the Orc one is good, but he really likes this base Mournfang brown. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I really like it too.
I think I've got Mournfang brown in. So I have used that, and I've used it for like leather as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be using it for.
Yeah, so if you've got like pouches and straps and things like that, use it for that. I've used it on I don't even know what they're called in Warhammer World, but like the pistol grip of the bolter and stuff. I end up
Yeah.
using it just to try and lighten it up a bit rather than it all be black. I'm just
Is-
sticking some contrast medium on this
I've actually
Umbral
got,
black just to
sorry,
lighten
mate.
it.
I've
Oh,
actually got the first miniature that I painted from
yeah.
so it's this chap. And instead of going off like the box out there, which I thought was
Yeah.
really cool,
Yeah.
I end up painting the bolter. Like, I don't know if you can see it well.
Is it a bolter or a flamer? I never know with those.
Sorry for blinding everybody. Come on, get your angles right. Well, basically, I went over it with the silver, the whole
Mhm.
gun, and ever since I've done it, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. And now I've seen so many different people with different
Yeah,
like weapons, and I was like, I should have painted that all black. But one thing
yeah.
that I've heard from a lot of people is when you get your first miniature done,
Yeah.
don't tamper it. Leave
Don't
it
go
as it
for it
is. Even
again.
though I've missed off like the
Yeah.
feet, they're still blue. And saying like just refer back to it every now and then and just see how you progressed.
Nice. I
I've
think
got my
yeah,
son's
that's
as
pretty
well.
cool. You are sorry,
His
Ben?
Elliot's, I've got his as well. And it's really good. Like when he takes his time
Yeah.
and he plans it properly, it's like spot on. But then he could be Mr. Slapchop. Like he just comes in and is like, oh, gets his paintbrush, and now he's like he's got a roller. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I've done it. It's like, how do you mean you've done it? I've just like started painting the handle of my gun for 20 minutes and you've completely finished yours. So,
I think that's it. Like it's funny because like I know my youngest would be she can't like certain things she can be really like careful and take her time, but other things she just like throws it on. She's just so quick with it and just wants to
yeah.
get it out of the way. But yeah, she's desperate to get involved and actually start doing some of these with me, which I'm keen to do. But I'm like, do I start her on a pox walker that's like got spikes everywhere and
See what she likes. So that's the
yeah.
question. What is it you find fun about this? I tell you what I did do once that I wasn't sure was a good idea. And that was I did my base painting because
Hmm.
I don't have any spray cans. I do it all by hand.
Mhm.
Did it while they're all in the sprues.
Okay. Yeah, I have
Because I'm
seen
getting to
that.
paints like this now, and I've got to try and get behind the shield,
Yeah.
and I've got my really, really badly coordinated old person limbs. I don't want to make a mess of it. Like I
Well,
should
I
have
generally
before.
find that when when I was doing Death Guard anyway, especially because I've done 5 Space Marines and I've done 3 Death Guard Plague Marines now. But when I was doing the Death Guard, I found that doing them in what they call sub-assembly was the best thing to do.
Hmm.
So I just broke it down into its little component parts and then just painted each part. So as I was doing I don't know, the Death Guard green, for example, I just have them all like, in fact, there's my box there. So this box has got all my paints in that I've got at the moment, and then sticking out the top are all these little spikes with 1, 2, 3, 4 written on it. So all of these spikes just have some blue tack on them. So I just
Yeah.
take the part, stick it on top of that blue tack, and line it up. And then I just end up using spice jars. It's got number 4 in it. So
Huh.
if I'm working on number four's parts are all lined up there, and then I can just using the Death Guard green, for example,
Yeah.
just paint all of that all over 4, and then move on to 3, then move on to 2, move into 1, etc. And I found that quite good to get a lot of the stuff done. But then last night and the night before, I was like, this is taking me too long. Like it's good for an overall, but trying to do details in each one just takes ages, and I don't feel like I'm finishing.
Yeah.
So the last 2 nights, all I've done is just assembled them, glued them together, and then just pretty much finished them off that way. So I found initially it was good for like the base coats, etc. But I like the
Hmm.
idea of basing them on the sprue. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know if it just like affect the whole like because a lot of the stuff that I've been using recently has been snapping.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's going to affect it or not. I don't know whether this shield bit is done.
I need to have a look at the instruction manual and see what actually this is supposed to be.
I think you've done really well with yours so far. I've literally painted a helmet red and a shield brown. And
Well,
bear in mind, this
that's
is
a lot of
supposed to be like
wash
an
though.
hour.
But that's like a lot of wash on there.
So what paints are you using? Do you use contrast
Uh,
paints, or are you more of a
no, these are all base ones, and then I just water them down. So I've used
yeah?
Mephiston red with Ungor flesh.
Mm.
I've mixed those two together to get kind of a orangey pink for the trousers. Try and make them a bit more green. And what I'm going to try and do actually is use my phone light. I'm going to light it up a bit. It's probably too much now.
Good idea. I think what I'm going to try and do, with this being like an experimental episode,
Yeah,
I'm going to try and get some sort of software and have two cameras set up. So
yeah,
maybe even like use the computer's camera and then my other camera to maybe
yeah,
have it on side so it's like a split screen.
yeah.
So
It
I'm
makes
not
sense.
constantly like holding this up in front of my face and seeing my tongue sticking out.
If you, I suppose, if yeah, because a lot of painters have the ones that look down, don't they?
Mm. Yeah, I can't suspend that from the ceiling.
We have to get one that just goes over, sits on like
Yeah.
a ledge. I think I'm pretty sure you can get them. Yeah, I found with these. Well, the thing is, I'm not really doing details at the minute. This is all like very quick wash just going on.
Mm.
Like I'm trying to work on the bones and the horns at the minute, so I'm just adding a little bit of lightness on those, just
Yeah.
trying to lighten it up a bit.
That's what the
But
miniature of the monk should look like.
oh, nice. Wow, you say should,
Yeah,
could.
that's what the suggested thing is with the
Yeah, yeah,
template scheme paint suggestions. But like I said, I just enjoy making my own
yeah.
kind of thing. So, are you subscribed to many channels to watch and learn from, or
What have I
who you
got? Let's
go
have a look.
to?
So I ended up just like looking at the video straight away
Mm,
and not actually realizing who it is. So let's have a look. I've got Brushstrokes Painting Guides, which we've spoken about before.
yeah,
Play
I
on
really
Table.
like your stuff.
I quite like those
Yep,
guys.
yep.
Who else have we got? Tabletop Ready, Miniature Hobbyist, Adeptus Ridiculous, which is a superb podcast. Highly recommend. If you're getting into Warhammer, that is one to listen to because it's just
Yeah.
ridiculously funny. It's essentially one bloke who knows nothing about Warhammer and another guy explaining everything to him, and he's slowly getting into it.
Sounds familiar format.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Not
First was
just
in
rub that.
Absolute Bunts, which is
Oh
the baseball
dear.
podcast from two Brits who knew nothing, but they were both learning. Whereas this one is about one guy, like getting another one to work out how to do it. But yeah, there's a few that I follow, and then
Yeah,
there's loads on Instagram. Clearly,
I like
plenty.
that format with the one on and one learning. Well, naturally, that's why I'm sort of doing this. Like one of my favorite ones for it is the Ghibliotech. If you
Okay,
like your Studio Ghibli stuff, there's one guy who'd never seen, I wasn't really aware of any of the Ghibli stuff, and him and his mate who'd seen them all would watch them and then talk about them and talk about the making of and all
what
that
is
sort of
Ghibli?
stuff.
I don't even know what that is.
Studio Ghibli is an animation company in Japan. You just like My
Ah,
Neighbor
okay.
Totoro and Spirited Away, and
Okay.
really, really good. The animation, the artwork in it, with you being quite an arty chap, is absolutely stunning.
I'd love to watch more anime, but it's just a bit like Warhammer. The market is so huge. I have no idea. Like I've watched all of Demon Slayer and absolutely loved it. The animation in that is just incredible.
Yeah.
The artwork in that. And then I watched Attack on Titan and I got to like, I don't know if you watched it, but I got to like season 2 or 3 and I was like, oh, I'm fed up at this now. I don't know if it's because I was binging it, but yeah, I just got really tired of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think the animation was that great, but from what I can gather, I think it's quite old. Certainly the early seasons.
Yeah. I'm aware of it. I just never watched it or read it.
Have you watched Demon Slayer?
No.
Oh my god. Sorry for blasphemy. Oh my emperor. But you should absolutely watch Demon Slayer. Not one for the kids.
No.
It is superb. Like not only like as a good anime, but a good TV series.
Is that the one with kid and his sister's possessed by something.
Yes.
I tell a lie, I've seen one or two of them. Which I just rarely get time
Yeah.
to do anything. Like I said, my Tuesday, which is my day off, I end up getting stuck in some rabbit hole of Laura things, and then I'm just wasting an entire day. I say wasting it, just researching things.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing a lot of charcoal drawing, I would just sit there. I'd even put it on when I was going to sleep because I found it
nice.
quite relaxing.
Yeah.
It's the same with this now. Like there's certain channels that I listen to, don't drop on the carpet, that I listen to through my brush on the floor. And I find them really relaxing.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoy watching them and just falling asleep to listen to people talk about the law. I'm at an absolute end now what to do with this.
What are you doing with it? Talk to
I
me.
have no idea. Just painting more red.
Well, just do it, mate. Just let it flow. Just keep talking and we'll do it.
True. We have about 15 minutes left before we've had our hour.
Okay.
I think an hour should be a decent enough format to talk and paint, and
yeah, agreed.
even it is just looking like a little gnome. I'm so sorry, this is poor.
Bad, mate. It's not bad at all. I think the lighting's gonna be tricky. It's always gonna be tricky.
Mm.
I think maybe what about a background on the Zoom or blur in your background? It's great having it on there, but I'm just thinking, does it let's have a look. How do I do it? I only discovered this the other day I say the other day, months ago. I did it for the backflips in there as well. Blur my background. Right, so if I do that, does that help with the mini? Not really.
No, I don't think so. So wait and tell the good folks what Backflipping Nerds is if they're unaware.
So Backflips and Nerds was started by myself and John McGee when we decided there wasn't any, well, we didn't know of any British baseball podcasts out there. And we said, I wonder if we could do one. So we decided to have a go. And we took on Darius Austin and Ben Carter, who came on to be to help us out essentially and talk about baseball. So we started that, oh my word, was it 2017, 18 maybe? I always forget. I have to go back and look for its first tweet to try and remember. But we started a long time ago, and essentially it's grown from strength to strength. Like we've not got a huge amount of listeners. We never really have. But what we have got is a bunch of people who like to get involved and like to send us stuff on Twitter and try and help out others in the community as well.
Yeah,
we've essentially just we just talk about what we want when we want. So we didn't want to put pressure on ourselves to do like monthly updates or weekly updates or even daily updates for the baseball season. Just wanted to just talk like blokes chatting about baseball. And I say blokes specifically because we only had 4 blokes to begin with. We then ended up getting Rachel Steinberg, Russell Eason, and Gav Long to come on board as well. And Rob Rivera. I can't believe not Rob. How rude. I did do that in London. I took a photo of us all and went, all the bat flips together again. And someone just tweeted back and went, where's Rob? I was like, that's awkward.
Yeah, I'm going in with the gold.
I completely forgot him. So yeah, we tried to develop and expand a bit. I mean, I haven't been involved at all really this year. I was there for London series.
Yeah.
Mainly because I ended up with a press pass. We applied for all of us to get a press pass, but only 3 of us got one. So I think Russell and Gav and Ben were all very much like, don't worry about it. We'll sit in the stands. Want to sit with our friends. So there's myself, Darius, and John again. And it was great fun. We had an amazing time. And I was there with Andy Brown as well, our good friend, who was there painting. And it was brilliant fun. And it was really enjoyable to do it and try and just have a bit of fun, really, which is kind of what we did. But yeah, it was a bit, I suppose it's a bit like yours as well, doing the British baseball, just doing what you want to do. And that was kind of a big tip that we got very early on. It was like, don't try and do what people want you to do. So we did go through a stage of like asking for suggestions, and people were like, "Oh, I want you to talk about this team more, or I want you to talk about this more." And we tried to do it, and I came away from the recording. I was saying to like John, the guys, I was like, I didn't enjoy that. Like, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is just do what I want to do, and if people enjoy it, that's great.
Mm.
And it's kind of stuck that way now. So it's kind of what I do with most things in my life. I'm like, well, I'll paint what I like, whether it be this or a canvas or whatever. And if people like it, then great. Because as we said at the very start, in my end is my beginning, or whatever the quote is. If you do stuff, there's going to be somebody out there who likes it. If you paint minis, there's going to be someone there who also enjoys and appreciates the painting of minis, and they will find you. Don't try and just do what everyone else wants you to do. Don't be like, oh, all Space Marines must have edge highlighting, which I absolutely hate, because if you look at any surface, it doesn't look like that. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, but like the edge highlighting on Space Marine, some of the top ones, it's like a perfect line all the way
Mm.
around every single join. And if you look around the house, nothing looks like that. And I don't understand what the obsession is with putting a perfect edge highlighting on every raised surface, because it doesn't look like that. Well, no, not every raised surface, every single join. So every single panel on these top Space Marines has like this crazy light line running all over it. And I don't really understand it.
I suppose that's one of the good things about this as well, is that there's, I was gonna say, there's no right way and wrong way. There's definitely a wrong way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Tim, again. I'm looking at you. You were
What's
painting.
wrong with it then? What's so wrong with it?
No, I didn't really enjoy. I didn't really enjoy painting it. I don't know if it's
Okay.
because there's loads of them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because I didn't know how to get my paint balances right,
Okay.
or my mix, or my levels. Like I said, I was using a dry palette and just trying to add water to it, and some of
Right.
them
Okay.
came out a bit clumpy, and the
Yeah.
detail isn't where I want it to be. And like, I'm not expecting it to be an incredible thing. Like my wife said to me, you should have painted one way and then painted them all like
Yeah.
one at a time, instead of doing like, right, I've done all the base coats on these, because I
Yeah.
spent like 3 days, 4 days just getting all these to look like a half decent solid
Yeah.
Rathbone white or whatever it's called. It just wasn't fun.
Well,
But
as we said earlier, well, you got to have fun, haven't you, really? If you don't have
exactly.
fun, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah, but I've seen so many different techniques and different ways of people doing what they're doing.
Hmm.
I suppose that's one of the things that made me want to do this as well, is to just ask the question, like, what are the benefits? Or like, there's no right way or wrong way of doing it. You know, people have got their own styles and techniques and the way they want their things to look, which is why I really love looking at some of the work that people have done that off scheme,
Yeah.
where they've gone like, well, here's my turn again, it's purple, and then the white is on the armor plates, or the green, or they look fluorescent, and it's
Yeah.
so many different ways to skin an orc.
I did nice. I did
Thanks. Just came up with that now.
did
Oh, sorry.
but the kids can't have guns.
Yeah, kids can't have guns.
Skin orcs, but you can't have guns. Um I'm saying that like mocking you because I'm the same and realizing now that I probably should just ignore it.
No, you can mock me as much as you want. Everyone else does. Go for it.
What was I going to say then about colors? Oh yeah, have you seen the Hello Kitty Space Marines?
Now,
They are brilliant.
where can I find those?
Let me send it to you. It was on Reddit.
That's amazing.
Hello Kitty Space Marine.
I am in on that.
Oh mate, I was so impressed with them. Like the paint job is incredible as well.
But that's what I was saying about doing these. Like, while I'm just learning different techniques and skills and styles, why not just go off brand? And I'm probably doing that really wrong. Maybe I should like learn the basics and how to paint the actual color schemes. But I've gone with gold pants on this chap now.
That's good though.
Can't see it. Oh, that's frustrating. I'm sorry. This is a rubbish debut episode. There will be better, I hope. I committed the cardinal sin of not cleaning that paintbrush properly.
Oh,
And I have red in with my gold. No.
So here's my tip to you. My
Yeah.
one tip that you can take. If you look at the screen, have two glasses of water. One. Well, what are you doing? How are you managing that then?
Because I'm new.
Don't be such
As
a
long as I
nut.
don't use this one.
Just be better. Oh yeah, I'd say another one as well. Yeah, try and keep your water in your cup of tea on the opposite side. That's my other
Oh
tip.
no. No.
There are those that have and those that will dip their paintbrush into a cup of tea or drink from their rinse glass. Right, I've sent you the Space Marine, Hello Kitty Space Marines. They're amazing. Where have I put? Oh, there we go. I want some green on this. I want it to look a bit miserable now. What have we got?
Those are brilliant.
Get some Nurgle's Rot on there. Oh no, in fact, I've got Ogring Camo first, which is a bit lighter. Nurgle's Rot, which is quite interesting. If you're not familiar with Nurgle, he's one of the horrible Chaos Demons, Chaos Lords, whatever they're called.
Yeah, folks. Hello Kitty Space Marines.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
I really like them. The paint job's like superb as well.
Yeah.
What was I saying about Nurgle?
Nurgle.
Yeah, so Nurgle's Rot. So, like, I don't know if you do this as well, but I end up, I think it's just a thing that I've picked up off YouTube, but like brushing the paint onto my thumb as I'm painting, which is, it's kind of ended up being a bit of a habit. It's just to stop the brush from getting overloaded.
Oh, is it? Oh, I've got two pieces of kitchen paper in front of
so
me.
I've got that in front of me as well, but I find the kitchen paper just gets like caught up. So I end up, you can probably see it with paint all over.
Oh, yeah.
But Nurgle's Rot is quite weird because it's I don't know what it's classed as actually. So it's classed as technical paint, yeah, but it's actually really sticky. So what you'd imagine this horrible green slime to be like, it is sticky on your hand, which is quite good fun.
Have you got a favorite paint?
I mean, Norn Oil and Angrax Earthshade surely ends at the top in the list, but they're more like a cheat code. They are, because like with Space Marines, they're generally, unless you're doing like battle torn and damaged, etc., they're generally looking really pristine in their colours, and you want them looking like sharp and nice. But I think I've got to the stage where I'm like, I can't do sharp and nice. I'm not good enough. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just dousing them in Norn Oil and Angrax Earthshade because it makes them dark. So they technically would be mine. But I think what do I like? I do like the Balthasar Gold that comes with the starter kit, which I think you've got as well.
Yeah.
Just purely because I've used that for like all the bronze as well on my Death Guards, which has been very handy. For like the trim on their armor. But the Nurgle's Rot is good because it gives like a real nasty green on it, like a real sticky, horrible green. Let me grab mine of my Plague Marines.
Plague Marines.
Yeah. So these are the ones that I've finished recently. You can't really see the Nurgle's Rot on them, but they're looking, I mean, they're very dark because of how grimy and grim they all are. I don't think you're going to get to see the rot, but essentially on this boy, on his belly, he's got a load of gnashing teeth coming out of his belly. And within there, I ended up just putting some Nurgle's Rot right at the bottom of his teeth, so it looks like it's drooling out.
Ah, nice.
And because the way the paint flows, because it's quite sticky and it like drips and oozes, it's come out like quite a good effect. So yeah, I think at the moment Nurgle's Rot, but then I'm going to say that as a Death Guard guy. And I don't think I actually answered your question about Death Guard and why I picked them. I don't really know. I think I picked them because you can kind of do what you like. Like Space Marines almost need to be, this is their chapter colors. This is what they look like. You can do some battle damage, but the rest of it is this. And I think it's great if you want structure and you want it to be a certain way. But with Death Guard, it's a bit like, I mean, these lumps and oozing and stuff like that, I'm putting green on him, which you can't really see on the camera because the light's terrible. But the you can do what you like there. You can make them purple, you can make them pink, you can make them black, like horrible, nasty boils or something. I don't know. You can do anything really. So with these, you can pretty much do what you like. I mean, technically, yeah, you can do what you like with anything. But if you're wanting an ultramarine army, well, you're gonna have to do an ultramarine blue, aren't you? You haven't really got a choice.
Oh, Hello Kitty, as we just seen.
Yeah.
Would you be able to take that into a competition? The Hello Kitty style.
I have no idea, mate. Maybe.
Like, is there any sort of like rules or codes?
No, I think there probably is like they might do like different competitions. Like there might be a this one is for originals, like as in, I want to paint X, like a Dark Angels Dreadnought. So you have to paint a Dark Angels Dreadnought according to the scheme and the paint scheme, whatever. But I imagine there's other like categories where it's just like originality and doing something different.
Yeah, because they're like painting competitions, aren't they, for just people who want to paint.
Yeah.
That's another good thing about the hobby. It's like you don't have to play. You can just paint.
Yeah.
Or you can play, or you can do all of it.
Yeah. It is great for that.
Or read.
Yeah. I mean, I'm reading Horus Heresy at the minute, which is superb. Some of the best books, some of the best writing I've ever read. It's just brilliant.
Is it Dan Abnett that's written?
So he's written some of them, yeah. He's written a lot of the good ones.
I'm sure he's done some comic books.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely done a lot of the books that I've read. But yeah, I've been really impressed with it. I mean, I'm in book 12 of like 65 or whatever it is. It's a bit of a challenge to get through it all, but I'm like, I've tried to avoid spoilers as much as I can. I mean, there's certain bits that can't be avoided just purely because of the story.
What do you think? Do you think with this San Francisco 49ers red and gold scheme, do you think I should make the blade gold as well to keep it in theme, or should I go with base lead Belcher and keep a sword?
Have you got any white? I'm thinking like a white sword, almost like, the trim on the 49ers where it's white. You've got your gold, you've got your red, and then the striking white as well. Or could you have it gold, and have you got the hand to do like a white trim around the gold?
Might be asking a lot of me that, mate.
Well, gotta push yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, true. Joe, I think I'll see how it goes. So that's our hour done.
Right.
And this is what I've managed to concoct is some. Hang on.
I'll get
where it all goes wrong.
Might be easier. Let's do that.
Here we go.
Oh, this light is going to be terrible. There we go.
Right on my nose. This is really professional looking. So I'm sure all YouTubers now.
Showing everyone how it's done, aren't we? Can I turn the brightness?
Indeed.
There we go. Turn my brightness right up.
I might take a photo of it and stick it on there.
I think that might be easier.
It's not ideal, but there we go. Let's get that back up on top.
That's what I've ended up with. Is
yeah. It's looking good so far.
What's in there? It's all right. I'm pretty happy with them.
Yeah, I would be. Right, Tom, well, thanks a lot for that. Really appreciate it. If anyone wants to see the art that you do that isn't miniature painting, where can the good folk find your work?
You can find me on Instagram at Pringle Paints. Pringle Paints. I don't really post that much on there, to be honest. I'm kind of withdrawing a bit from social media, but there is stuff on there. You can contact me on there. But I'm usually hanging around Discord on Warhammer Discord, and what was the other one? Oh, Adeptus Ridiculous Discord, which is excellent.
Brilliant. Tom, thanks very much for being part of this experiment. I hope we get some really good feedback about what can be improved. It isn't change the host, which I have had before in the past, which is a great idea.
You haven't had that.
Oh yeah, in a different show, but I know. The thing is, right now this is perfect because I can talk loudly, can talk freely. But when I normally record upstairs in the office,
yeah,
my little boy who goes to bed at 7 o'clock,
yeah,
his room is right next.
Yeah.
Right? So when I'm recording and I'm doing a baseball podcast, sometimes I have to talk to my guests like this because there's not a door I can close, and he doesn't have a door. And then people are like, why don't you sound so enthusiastic? I'm like, you kidding? This is like my passion. I love this. I'm trying my best with what I can work with. And that's what
I
this
love
is.
it,
I'm
mate.
trying best with, like, not everyone has like a £700 cheap camera that I can use a multi-camera setup. So I'm going to
Yeah,
try my
exactly.
best with what I've got. And I know it's not
What,
going to be
what
ideal
if you
for
could do
most
it through your
people.
phone as well? I wonder if you could have the like another meeting attendee in your phone.
That's not a bad idea.
Like I'm thinking now, I'm just looking at this because my light's got a big hole in the middle. If I put my phone on top, it's going to need support. But I could
Yeah.
strap the phone on top of there and then at least get the camera looking through straight down on it, which might work. I have no idea.
Let's see.
Don't put
Let's
this in the
see.
episode. Don't put this in the episode. It was just.
Oh, it's going in.
I don't think you actually introduced me at all. Anyway,
I did. Of course I did.
you didn't. You just started.
My friend Tom Pringle. Sorry, Tom Pringle. Anyway, right. Lots of stuff to play around with. Lots of ideas. I think I like the format. An hour chat, painting along,
Yeah.
a bit of a show and tell. But again, anyone that's watching this as the pilot episode, where this is the experiment, what sort of thing would you like to see or expect to see in something? Is an hour too long? Do you think that if I had somebody on that was one of your favorite miniature painters out there, do you think they could do the challenge of seeing what they can paint within an hour? It's not supposed to be a challenge. It's just supposed to be, like I said, a replacement for chicken wings. I'd love to have Sean Evans on here. Sean Evans been interviewed about eating chicken wings and painting miniatures.
Painting miniatures. See if he does it. I think it works, mate. I like it. I like the idea of it, and I think if you get pros on here as well, obviously they'd have a better camera setup, and then you can see this.
Indeed, yeah. And no one wants to see my painting. It'd be more about their painting, I
You've got to
suppose.
finish it off, haven't you? It's a bit.
Yeah.
It's a bit like I can't even think of the comedian's name though. It was very good during lockdown. Who he was painting like masterpieces or replicating masterpieces in like 10 minutes. And it was so good to watch because it was
Really?
just him, like trying to paint it as quickly as he could. I can't remember. Larrick Marwood, is it?
Don't
I
know.
think it's Marwood.
I don't want to notch something if it hasn't got any spaceships or anything like that in it. That's just me. I do like a good drama and thriller every now and then. I rewatched the classic 1993 The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. No spaceships in that. It's a fantastic film.
It's a good film. I've watched it for years.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm going to end this here, like I said I was going to. And I'll catch you all soon.
Bye.